So I always think that every object needs an exact place. So I want these glasses to kind of sit on a wall, space apart a little bit so I can see them. I can grab them if I want them. So to start off, I'm going to get some critical measurements. So these are going to be kind of the full length of the glasses, how big the bottom section is, as well as the nose piece. These don't have to be exact, largely because I'm going to be using various glasses. So I want to keep it a little bit more general. Uh, Then I'm going to get the back dimensions. So this is going to be how far away I need to leave room for the wall. And then I'm going to check both sides of the the backings to the glasses because I want to make sure that one doesn't sit further than the other. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra space so that some larger glasses will still work with it. Also going to get the dimension from the back of there to where the bottom of the glasses are. So that should be all the dimensions. Keep those by my side in case I need to reference them again. So start off with just a line, creating the base. So the base, this is approximately the full length of the glasses. I'm gonna turn it into a box so that I have something to work off of. This is where the glasses are gonna sit, but I'm gonna add some shape to it. I'm gonna start with the nose piece. So I'm gonna start with that because I guess you can start with a few different areas, but that is kind of a definite. We need to have a little bulge right here in the center so that they don't shift to the left and right. Then I'm just going to make a rectangle out of it. The shape I want to end with is not a rectangle, but given this shape, I can morph it into a different one later on. So now I'm going to work on the bottom of the lens. So it's a little bit more of a complex shape. I could use an arch, but looking at most glasses, they tend to be kind of squared off. So I'm going to be using a spline. Then with the spline, I can kind of get a wider range of shapes on that bottom section. And I'm going to veer on the side of making it a little bit more square so that more will fit into it. So by stretching that bottom point line out, I can make it more square or less square until I get to a shape that looks approximately what I want. Then I'm just going to mirror it onto the other side. So now at this point, I extrude that back and I have the full, where the front of the lens is going to sit. So this doesn't do anything for the backing, but starting on the front, move to the back later. So I noticed I didn't really like how that offset was looking, so I'm going to go ahead and round off the nose piece as well as round off these corners. Typically I'll do this rounding at the very end, but because I'm going to use this line as an offset, I'm going to do it initially. So I'm going to do an offset, and I'm doing this so that the glasses can't roll forward. Once they're in, if you push them forward and back, they stay in there. Once I'm happy with the offset, I'm going to figure out where, so I don't want that offset to go all the way around. I just want it to go to the very edge. So do a couple lines to get that sorted out. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to work the back side of it just a little bit. I'm verifying there's enough space between the very bottom, and I don't need to add any more for strength. So I'm going to use that dimension from the ear piece of the glasses to the bottom of the lens, so that when it sits on the mount, it will be about flush. So using a couple lines as reference, connecting them all up. And then I did notice that from the back kind of follows an arch, so I'm going to add that arch into this shape. I'm going to extrude it back a little bit. So now I'm trying to figure out, all right, how much space do I need to leave for the lenses? How much space do I need to leave for the very back? Right now, there's a large area for the glasses, or for the frame, but not for the back area. It's a little disproportional. So I'm gonna sort that out. So before I sort that out though, I want to have the very front of this shape kind of have a rounded taper to it, because none of the glasses I use or see tend to be perfectly flat in the very front. They tend to have kind of an arc shape. So I'm gonna cut off that front area so I have a nice piece to work with, and then work on the bottom, create that arch. Give myself a little bit more room to work. So now it'll be rounded in the very front, and then it'll be rounded in where it's going to be touching the glasses. And now I need to kind of merge these two together. So I'm going to use a cut function. You can do a few different ways, but cut off where that intersected, and then remove the pieces that weren't connected anymore, and then merge it all back together. So it has a little bit more of the shape I'm looking for in the very front. And then extrude that back piece in a little bit. Leave myself enough space so that I can use various types of glasses with it. Do think I ended up leaving a little bit too much space, but it works for the ones I have, and I think it'll work for other ones as well. So I'm verifying some of the dimensions of it, pulling up some of the glasses I have on hand, making sure I think it'll work, going back and forth between the model and the thing the model is going to hold. And once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to start rounding everything off. I tend to want to have a very smooth finish at the very end. So most of the corners, I'm going to go in and do a fillet function on all of them. So that just adds a radius, makes the 3D print come out a little bit smoother. And then I'm going to go towards the back a little bit. So I don't think there's enough space on the very back to actually mount to the wall. So to solve this, I'm going to extrude a little bit off the very bottom, then use a two-sided chamfer to bring it from that back piece I just made to the very front. So it has a little bit more surface area in the very back. I intend to use a couple command strips to hold onto it. So lowering the back a little bit allows me to put one down there and then a couple at the top and have that increased stability. All right. And now the general shape I'm pretty happy with, and I'm going to go back through and round all the edges that I want rounded. I'm going to work my way from the front to the back, or pick the edges that I think might be most troublesome or most critical. So I kind of want the top one more rounded than the bottom one, so I'm going to start with the top ones and then move to the bottom ones. So some of these are just very small fillets, but it does tend to make the 3D print come out a little bit smoother. There was a couple points on the very side which I didn't really predict would be there or mean to be there, but they don't mess with the functionality of it too much. And then doing one last check to make sure I have enough space. Elected to add just a little bit more just to be certain. This doesn't have to be a super tight fit. It's not a snap fit. It's just here, place these here, and then good to go. So I printed this off in PETG carbon fiber on the Bambu Lab X1. I chose the PETG carbon fiber because I really like the finish of it. And at a model of this size, it doesn't come out too costly. Could have gone for a lower infill. You can see on the model that the bed that this was printed on had some imperfections that came out in the very base. Noticing it's not the tightest fit, doesn't have like a snap fit finish, but the glasses sit on there, sit how I like, and it holds your glasses as intended. It works in multiple models. So here's the finished product. And if you like to get the CAD files on it to mess with them yourself, you can find them on GrabCAD. If you want the STL, it's also there, or on Cults 3D and Printables. All right. Thanks for watching.